And welcome to Fortunes Hiding Down Under TV, our weekly show. As you can see, there is a new guest in the bottom left-hand corner, Mr. Nick from Claret and Booze. Talk a bit about yourself, mate, and why you're on board.
Yeah, so Nick from the Claret and Booze channel. If you don't know, go and have a little look. It's a West Ham fan base, a West Ham fan channel that I run with me brother, me mate, my other mate Mickey as well. There's 4 of us now. We've been going for about 2 years, and we've been watching you guys since you started, and we've always been quite keen to sort of do a little bit of a collaboration as well. And I think you guys fit what we do as well. You've got similar format, similar personalities. You have similar sort of debates as well, because you've got quite a nice balance between you, because you all kind of you disagree and you debate and you argue, which I like. It's always quite fun.
Don't always something to disagree about.
Yeah. So hopefully the start of a beautiful relationship. So we'll start doing a bit more of each other moving forwards.
Yeah, perfect, mate. Perfect. And it's nice to have you on. We've been trying to do it for a while, and after me coming on your show, it's a pleasure to have you on ours. Dave, you're over in the UK, mate. How's it going? How's the first day?
It's been wet, mate. Yeah, the first day was awesome, mate. Straight from Heathrow, check into the hotel, over to Spurs, and what seemed like a very, very shit first half turned into a glorious second half, didn't it?
Yeah. It's always a great day when you're winning it over there.
Especially that's my third visit there. Well, to the first one to the new stadium, but been to Shite Hart Lane twice, and seen us win twice over there. And now seen West Ham win once over there at the shitty Newgaff as well.
So you're a lucky charm. You got to go more often.
Must be. Yeah, not to Fulham though, eh? I won't
go to Fulham. You look like you're back in your mum's fucking old bedroom or something, mate. You know what I mean? Like
hotel room. I've kicked the missus out to my mum's house, and I've got the hotel room. So
brilliant, mate. And obviously, you was at Fulham as well. Not the greatest result, was it?
No. Well, I took my boy to his first ever away game, and took my daughter on to Spurs. And he's like, why couldn't you have taken me to Spurs? I'm like, sorry, buddy, sorry. Just bought him a big bag of sweets while I had another pint out the back after 3-0.
How old is he?
He's 12.
Ah, it's all right. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. He'll be fine. He'll get over it. He'll get over it.
He's only got to wait another 40 years for a trophy anyway. Matty, how you been, mate?
Yeah, not too bad at all, actually. It's been pretty relaxing this week, to be honest. My mum and dad have settled in. They're enjoying their holiday now, so they're out my hair a little bit. Just spending time with the girls and making the most of my last few weeks off work. It's coming up to 4 months since
I can't believe you've been off work that long, mate. That's mental.
It's mental, isn't it? So,
and you said you was going to try and help us to sort some stuff out of this channel. You've done fuck all.
The thing is, Matt, the less you do, the less you want to do. That's what happens, isn't it? That is what happens.
That's the case with Matthew.
No, I'm always happy to help out.
Yeah,
4 months off work. How are you going to get back into going to work again? I don't feel.
I really don't know. I don't know how it's going to work, because I'm literally back full time. I manage a team of 16 people. It's chaos, and I'm going to go from doing nothing to fucking full on 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'm trying not to think about it, but I go back on the 2nd of January, so it's pretty much as soon as Christmas and New Year's done, I'm back into it. I've got a new boss as well when I go back that I know nothing about, so I'm going to have to tread carefully for the first few weeks.
I'll tell you what, I hope our West Ham players have got a new boss this come summer, mate. I tell you.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Let's go into this Freiburg game. Right. First game was a different kettle of fish, wasn't it? Completely different kettle of fish. Packard, Aguerd scored our goals. They're on a 3-game winning run at the moment as well. We've just been tonked 5-0 to Fulham.
Mhm.
How do you think we're going to set up? Actually, no, forget that. How would you like us to set up for this one? Dave?
I'd like Mabama to start, for starters. I'd like to see Bowen back out on the right, because I think, although Bowen does a really good job through the middle, I think we're really missing what he adds to the right-hand side. Even with Kudus being the star boy that he is, I'd like to see Kudus brought into the middle, because I think that's where he wants to play. But yeah, look, I don't want to see Ings anywhere near the fucking side, because we know he's done. But I'd like to see Mabam get a start. Will it happen? I probably doubt it, I'd say. But yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Matty? By the way, Matt, you look like you're stuck again as like a hostage in a fucking Iraqi bomb site or something, mate.
Yeah, I've been shunted back to the bedroom. Which
how much do we have to pay to get you back?
Look, to be honest, it was half by choice, because the aircon is a lot better in the bedroom.
Right.
So I've sacrificed the living room. The girls are out there. They've got adequate aircon, but it's powerful as fucking here. So it's
you wouldn't get me out of that room.
It's 16 degrees in here.
It's better than my garage, mate.
Well, my biggest concern about tomorrow, and I'm sure everyone will be thinking the same, is whichever way we set up, we can't set up just to go out and fucking get a draw. We've got to go and win the game. I agree with Dave's comments. I think Bowen needs to go back out on the right. I'd start Mabama. We know it's not going to happen, but that's what I would do. But yeah, the biggest thing for me is that we actually go out and try and win the game, and not just fucking wait and see what happens. So as long as we do that, which we won't, we'll be all right.
Nick, what do you reckon, mate?
I think we've been riding our luck. We've been riding our luck all season, and that harding's been coming. We've lost almost every midfield battle we have, with or without Alvarez in there. I sort of said this last night on the show. And for me, the first thing that I think he needs to address is that central midfield. He's got to. He's trying to bypass it at the minute. He's going from Aguirre over the top. He's trying to bypass with no focal point up front. We haven't even got a target man. He's got to sort out the midfield. James Ward-Prowse and Souček, they've had good individual seasons, I suppose, if you look at the numbers. Souček scored some really important goals. James Ward-Prowse has got some really sort of critical, I think like 9 assists, but they're also the reason why we don't control the game. They are. It's a weird conundrum. And for me, I'd like to throw a curveball. So just focusing on that midfield area, we need a shield. If Alvarez isn't available, then you've got Kera or Mavropanos. Because bear in mind, a CDM is just a defender in front of the defenders. That's what they are. So I would play either Kera or Mavropanos in that holding role, just so you've got an extra bit of steel in front of them. And I would completely change up the other two. It's not because I think James Ward-Prowse is useless and Souček, and I do think Souček's useless. But I just want to change it. I would pull them out for this game, take them out, rest them. I would pull Kudus and Paqueta back. They're both number 8s. They're both central midfielders. That's what they are. If you want to control a game, they're both combative. They're mobile. They're technical. If you want to control a game, stick them two in central midfield, control that midfield, and play Cornet wide left, Mabama down the middle, Bowen out where he belongs, out on that right-hand side where he's been most... that, for me, would be a complete curveball. That's what I would do, but he'll never do it. He'll never do that.
I don't think it's the Australian fucking weather at the moment, but after just hearing that, I feel a bit hot. I really do.
How good would that be? If you want to control a game, stick them two in the middle of the park.
Yeah. They'd be involved in the game, wouldn't they? The problem that we have the way that we play, because we lack so much control, is that they're isolated a lot of the time out left and right. Would you pick Kera over Mavropanos?
In the CDM role, I probably would. But then again, I probably would pick. We had this conversation yesterday. We was assuming that that Alvarez was going to be out. But look, if he had the same virus that Fornals had, and Fornals was apparently the worst affected, yet he was able to play for 45 minutes, I'm assuming that he's going to be back. So let's assume that Alvarez is back, which would be great news. Then you've got either Kera or Mavropanos that you can play instead of Zuma, because Zuma can't. We know his knees are knackered. He can't play these. He can play one game a week. I think that's kind of well known now. You know, I don't think he trains. He's like Ledley King, isn't he? He
Yeah,
just can't. He just plays the matches.
That must have been some virus, because if Emerson did 45 minutes, Fornals did his stint. It must have been the shittest fucking virus since COVID-19.
Yes, it's a bullshit virus, isn't it? They were knackered. They were knackered. It was piss poor planning from us. We knew this compacted fixture list that we was coming into. We knew that we was going to be playing every 3 days. He should have been prepping players. So people like Fornals, people like Benny, he should have been giving them game time. And you know what? Emotionally as well, bigging them up. Like when he gets these press conferences, giving them some confidence, because he should have been thinking, I'm going to need these players. He should have been rotating them. But he don't do that.
But do you reckon, though, that the reason he ain't doing that is because he knows he's losing them for a month anyway? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how some managers, they used to be back in the day where it's like, you don't talk to players that ain't involved. Well, if he's looking far ahead, he's thinking, what's the point in playing these for 2 games, bigging them up, and then they're going to go for a month?
Yeah, well, I mean, Fornals ain't going to be gone for a month, is he?
But Ben Rama, sorry.
Ben Rama, Cornet, yeah, possibly. I don't know, but the fact of the matter is, this is a pivotal month coming up.
Yeah,
you know, these games that we've got here. You know, your Liverpool's this qualifier that we've got. If we lose 3 or 4 league games, then we probably could kiss goodbye to top 6 aspirations. So it's important. You know, he needed his squad, and he done this last year. If you remember, coming up to December, that was when John switched from Moyes in to Moyes out. Was that little run of games? You know, like when we lost to Palace before Christmas.
Yeah,
he was like, "No, it all fell to pieces." It was the same thing. He runs the same players into the ground over and over again, and these backup players ain't shit. Someone sent me, I sent it to you, Ryan, on the WhatsApp yesterday. The showreel of Fornals from when he first joined it. Oh my God, what has happened to that player? If you honestly, if you look at that, it looks like prime bloody Piquet, if you like. Is a completely different player now. If you see what it's like, I can't remember that player anymore. No. And it's such a shame, because he ain't old, is he? Was he 28?
Yeah, he's not old at all. But you're right. That it's exactly what Moyes does. He won't use the squad. He won't use the players. And you know, we say it every single week. He's got his probably 12, 13 players, and he's always going to pick his 11 from that. And it doesn't matter where the fuck he puts them, they're getting on the pitch, and it's killing us. It really is. And you're right. This month will make or break our season. You know, I'm not expecting to go up to Anfield and win, but if we give that a go, we win tomorrow. We win, pick up some points. You know, keep in touch with that sort of top 8 in the league. Then we go into the new year in pretty good position, in my opinion. If we've got a European qualifier to worry about, because that's what it would be. It'd be a fucking worry, whoever we played. And you know, we lose another 3 or 4 games. It's going to be shit.
It's two extra fixtures we don't need, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it is frustrating.
Day, didn't he? I was just saying, Moyes said something the other day after that Palace game, didn't he? He said that he didn't feel he had the subs on the bench to make a difference to the game.
Yeah.
What kind of demoralising statement is that to make?
It's ridiculous.
Like Ben Rama, Fornals and stuff, right? And I actually thought when Fornals came on for the few minutes that he did, he probably got about 10
really well
time and all that. He actually looked really sharp. And I was happy to see him start against Fulham until I saw the bloody game open up, and bloody hell, him and Cresswell were getting done left, right, and centre on that left side. So,
but Fornals, like everyone else, for that first 10 minutes, we looked all right.
Yeah,
we did.
We was knocking the ball about all right, and then that goal went in, and then the wind completely went out of our sails, didn't it? You know, there was, and that's a statement in itself, because I do just think that our heads just dropped at that point. I think once that goal went in, it was almost like we waved the white flag. We gave up.
Yeah, but can we blame it on the big performance? Well, I've kind of believe in what you said on your show today, Nick. It's to do with how much they have to fucking actually think the whole 90 minutes, because they're under so much pressure. It would be draining. You must be emotionally and mentally fucking drained from trying to play this system constantly, because it's not free flowing football, far from it. So when you're constantly having to think about it, you're going to make mistakes, as you say, and they're creeping into our game constantly.
Well, right, you play football. Every one of those players are in the middle of a 90-minute rondo.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
No one likes to fucking be in the middle of a rondo either.
No, I know. But that's what it is, and it's mad. It is absolutely mad. And if you look at, I mean, Fulham did it. Fulham managed to play 3 games in 8 days, but they control the game. You know that it's easier when you're on the ball. And
Villa,
they do the same as well. So I don't know. I can't really explain the thought process behind it, especially because he's supposed to be a cautious manager. You know, we play this low block, which is a defensive formation. We've played 16 games. We've conceded 30 goals. It ain't working, is it? That's 2 goals a game. So I don't. And also these. I don't know what you guys think about this. Every game, we're focusing on individual errors. This week, it's Aguirre's fault. It's Mavropanos' fault. It's Kera's fault. It's Zuma's fault. It's Alvarez's fault. If there was 1 or 2 mistakes, you could go, fair enough, that's down to the player. But at what point have you got to look at this and go, hang on, these players can't be that shit. This has got to be systemic. It's got to be. You know, it's got to be down to management and coaching. And if it is individual error, let's just absolve Moyes of the blame for that. Let's just say it is the players being useless. Then why is there no accountability? Why is Aguirre never pulled out of the team? Why are they never made to rue these mistakes? You know, the players once they're in his preferred 11,
they're pieces of a puzzle for him. That's why they never get removed.
But there's got to be accountability. I mean, you saw it last year, and with Souček, for instance, perhaps not mistakes, but he went missing for almost a whole season. And you had Fornals, Lanzini, and Down sitting on the bench, looking at him, watching this player, going, "I can't get in front of him." You having a laugh?
Yeah, I'm not his biggest fan.
No, neither am I, as you can tell.
He relies a lot on keeping that game either a level or still in touch, right? And I don't think there was a lot of difference between the Spurs first half and the Fulham first half. The difference is Spurs did not take their chances. They should have put us 3 or 4 down in that first half, and we'd have been put to bed just like we were against Fulham. Go on,
mate. Sorry, go on. I said against Spurs. Have you ever seen us sat back in our own 18-yard box for 45 minutes like that before? Have you ever seen it? I've never seen that before.
It was part of it's as much as the way Ange Postecoglou sets up as well, right? Because you've got 2 completely contrasting styles that we were forced back. But I mean,
Ange's fucking back 4 is sitting on our edge of our D. That's how fucking high.
It was like that, wasn't it? It absolutely felt like that.
It was absolutely horrendous.
But then we pushed them back. But then we pushed them back, and they struggled. I mean, I called them before. They're a kitchen apron. They're all front and no back. So exploit them. But they are. Exploit them. You've got to exploit their weaknesses. If they like being on the ball, they like being on the front foot. Don't just sit back and make it easy for them. Just, you know.
And that's what we had to do in the second half, wasn't it? We had to go and press them. Once those shackles were off and we were pressing, we actually looked, that's one of the really best halves I've seen this season, for sure.
We deserve to win that in the end. On the balance of the game, second half, we was better, much better. Yeah.
But then
I'll tell you something. With games like that, I actually don't mind if we scrape a fucking win in that. Do you know what I mean? They're the sort of games I couldn't care less how we fucking win as long as we win it. But it's the travel of games that we've had where we've played constantly the same shit fucking football. As I've said lately, we are a team of moments, whether they're bad or good. Like
I know.
And unfortunately, that's just the way it's going at the moment.
It is. Look, we've got quite a few comments coming through, so I'll just
go
wait for you out.
Go
see who's online with us, and thanks to everyone who's watching. Kieran, good day, Dave, Kingy, Lord Luke, and Nick. Thanks for joining us, Kieran. And then we've got Virgil Irons. Thanks for joining. Simon Matthews, oi Savalois. Hello from the Melbourne Hammers. Good to have you, Simon. Thanks for watching, mate. Simon. Comment there from my brother, Jimmy Nolan, calling me, in the words of Tyson Fury, a 4-month dosser.
Dosser.
Proper dosser. Virgil, Kingy's got great hair. Anyone would think he's a hairdresser.
Fucking hell, mate. It's been a long fucking day. Let's not talk about
it. you have got lovely hair, though, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Darren Higgins. I only tuned in for the fake taxi bloke from Claret and Boobs. Trust you are well. Best wishes from Bangkok.
Yeah, I bet he fucking does know what fake taxi is coming in from Bangkok, mate.
Absolutely.
Hello, Darren. Make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, everyone subscribe if you haven't. Ben H, hello from Sydney. Haydos, fortunately, head-to-head beats for and against in Europe, so at least there is an advantage going into this, which is probably the way Moyes will be looking at it, instead of just thinking we need to go out and win, which, you know, it's always dangerous when you think of these permutations and try and gain some sort of advantage from it. Yes, if it comes to it, it will be good, but we've just got to go out and win.
Yeah.
Crafty Dave says, get Nick off. He's bringing the channel down just when your show was looking good. Look, we'll reserve judgment. We said we'll give him an hour and then we'll make a call.
Nah, Nick's been very supportive of everything that we've done. He's been very much at every beck and call that I've had to ask a question. So I'm very grateful to have him on. Anyway,
Dave's a wind up. He watches us.
Yeah. No, I know he is, but
Oh, look, it's, you know,
crafty cockney is.
I don't know much about this gig or this industry, but it's just nice to have support, you know, rather.
You've had fucking 4 months to do some fucking research, mate.
Yeah, but busy, aren't I? Working hard.
Dossing.
Oh man. Another one from Simon. Rumour going round that the new manager incoming is Di Canio and his first signing is Marco Boogers. Well, there you go.
Would you take Di Canio for the rest of the season if it went south?
Yes.
Just for the rest of the season?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
I'll go every game. I'll go every game.
It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Fucking booting players when he substitutes.
Yeah.
That would get the fucking morale up, mate.
He would, yeah. I'd say some of the performances, because I love Paqueta, as you can tell. But some of the performances of Paqueta, he would have been having a standoff with him, mate. He would have been. He would have been.
Which brings us to the next comment. Paqueta needs a rest. He's a shock duck at the moment.
He's injured.
Look, well, I was going to say that the
Moyes has come out and said he's playing him with an injury.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, we have
he's
got
that
a little
kind of player, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
We have got a little bit of a thing on our show at the moment, Nick, where we're not too happy with how he's acting and losing the ball and
I love
fucking
Paqueta.
around.
Childish.
Don't get us wrong. We love him as a footballer, but you need to do the basics and put the hard work in as well.
And also, he gets a lot of criticism as well, Ryan, for his diving. Okay, but don't tell me you weren't fist bumping when he did that dive at the end of the Spurs game. Looked up and smiled at the Spurs. He's a shithouse player. I love him. He's brilliant. He's like the proper the pantomime villain, isn't he? He is. Yeah. I love him. I think he's brilliant.
It's great when it's going well.
Yeah,
it's great when it's going well, and when it's not.
I know.
Brilliant.
But again, that's down to management. I think you've got to know not when to play him, but when to hook him as well. So if the game ain't going in quite the right way and he ain't switched on, some of these players need protecting from themselves. Because you're not going to stop him doing flicks and tricks. You're not. So if you're and the thing is, when you set out in a game, and because he's a possession player, you know, he ain't just going to hoof the ball. He ain't going to do an Aguero and a Soufal and hoof it nowhere. He'll hold on to the ball, and that's how he gets caught out. So when we're playing in a way where we're low blocking and there's no passing options, he's going to get caught on the ball. He is. Might as well play Charlie Adams in there sometimes with the way that we set up.
I guess it's when he fucks around and does like 5-yard pass that and miss times that you think, if he's got that much technical ability, how can he do those silly little miscued easy passes, right? You just go, what are you doing? You're just trying to be tricky all the bloody time.
I think it's laziness.
I think it's frustration. I think the guy's been pulled out of his best position. I think everyone look. We can see what the issues are. Those players know what the issues are as well in that team. They do. You know, they're professionals. He needs to be. He's our best player. I don't care what anyone says in terms of technical ability. He needs to be in the middle of that park. He's also combative. In the first 5 games of this season, when he was playing central, he was top of the league, Premier League, for ball recoveries. Top of the charts for winning these battles and getting in there. But we've shunted him out on the wide left. Why? To make space for James Ward-Prowse and Souček. What sense does that make? Last year we had a midfield pairing or a trio, if you like. But let's take Souček out; he's never there. But just say a pairing. We had Rice and Paqueta, and we've gone from Rice and Paqueta to James Ward-Prowse and Alvarez. There's a massive difference there, you know. And I'm not digging out Alvarez, but he ain't no Declan Rice. You know, he's not. I don't think many players are.
Oh, fucking hate him.
I know.
Kind of player,
But he's a great player. And what Rice could do is Rice could carry Souček because he was so good. You could have Souček in the team, and it didn't really impact you as much. So you could have a ghost in midfield, but you can't do it now. Not everyone can do that. You can't. You know, he did the job of 2 men. Yeah.
Do you think Alvarez could become as good as Rice, or is that ship sailed?
I think he'll be as good as CDM as what Rice could be. So if you've got a balanced midfield and you're playing him as a CDM in that 6, he'll be as good as Rice in that role. But you need to have the balance around him. Rice could do the rest of it. He could pick up the ball. A lot of people criticised him for his surging runs upfield, but that's the only way we could progress the ball forward, was because there's hardly ever any passing options. So it's down to, that's why we've seen Alvarez trying to do it. We're trying to see him pick the ball up from deep and carry it up the field, which is what Rice used to do.
I do love watching him do that is Kudos.
Yes, that's why I want to play him deeper.
The way he just picks the ball up on that turn and he's gone.
And play him and Paqueta deeper. Play him and Paqueta deeper.
As John said on your show earlier, people bounce off that fucker. He's so strong. Same as Bowen. I've always said Bowen is just unbelievable strength for his size.
Low center of gravity.
Yeah,
but he's solid.
Yeah,
that could do. So have you heard the noise when he chests the ball? It's like fucking hell. When he controls the ball, he is solid. Proper solid. Love him.
He's a bowler, isn't he?
Yeah,
he is. I think Alvarez is decent. I think he will become an even better player. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see anyone as good as Declan Rice for a long time at West Ham. But look, I'm just thinking more about what you're saying about Kudus and Paqueta coming back and playing there. I remember that when Kudus actually started getting Premier League games, and he was the number of times he turned sort of a quarter of a way up the pitch, so inside our own half, and he was running from there. He was a lot more effective than he has been the last few games where he's been stuck out wide. So I really like that. I think that would be good, but there's not much chance of it happening, is there?
No,
he looked so fucking over it against Spurs, didn't he? Yeah. People kept saying, "Oh, he's knackered, he's all this," but he did actually look more pissed off than anything. He didn't look that tired. There's no way a guy like that can be absolutely wrecked after 70 minutes of football.
No, not at all.
There's a comment here from 50 pence. Evening 50. Thanks for joining as always. Took you a while to get going in the comments, so I'm hoping you weren't late. He said Fornal's got the 3rd highest BBC player rating score after coming on. Was this against Palace?
No, it was against Palace because he did, as Dave said, he came on. He didn't have much time, but he played well, didn't he? When he came on,
he played really well.
Yeah,
he put the cross in.
He created 2 chances in 10 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he says that every game we're relying on individual genius as well. Usually Kudus, or a last minute goal from someone to get us out of jail. This one flashed up before. Virgil encouraging everyone to hit the like and subscribe button, and then he's saying he hope it's not raining over here. I'm not sure if you're here right at the start, but it's fucking.
I've got no fan. I've got no aircon. I'm literally fucking dripping in fucking.
I don't know how you can do it without the aircon on.
Oh, mate,
I've been in England a week. It's been fucking raining the whole time, I think. Welcome.
What would you prefer though, Dave? Just must be nice to have a couple of weeks off.
Mate, I would come home in a heartbeat, but my missus is Australian, so yeah. My missus is Australian, so I'm very grounded over
there. Jimmy Nolan says the first half of the Spurs game was like when Homer Simpson became a boxer and just let the opponent tire themselves out with no offense. Fuck it, it was.
God, he is a lot fucking smarter than you, isn't he? Or funnier.
Oh, there's never been any debate that he's funnier. Virgil says, "Core Kingy's gushing over Nick. Should get a frame pic of him."
This is John's thing. We had this with Mickey when Mickey comes on the show as well. John gets very protective over.
I'd say
he does. Whenever we get a caller, whenever we get a phone call in, he asks the caller at the end, "Who do you love more?" He wants every caller to say they love John more.
He's never asked me. Thank fuck he ain't.
Is he not?
The right answer.
But you can answer now.
Mickey's
a lovable one. Mickey's a lovable one. Just to piss John.
Well, he's got the ump as well about saying low blocking. Stop saying low blocking.
I do agree with this. This is a new technical term for parking the bus.
Yeah.
If this was Mourinho, he would be fucking tactician genius.
Yeah.
But when he did it, we all fucking said it was boring. But when we do
when he did it, he had Drogba up front and he had Hazard and he had the right play. He had the right players to be able to sort of deliver it, didn't he? You know, I think it's almost fraudulent football when you've got star players like that to set your team up to just completely disrupt the opposition with no plan of anything other than Mourinho did the same thing. My individual players, Hazard and they will create enough chances in the game to win me it. But there's not really any coaching in there. I do believe that. I think some managers, most managers now, they work on tactics all week, passages of play to go out and stop the opposition. And you've still got these very few managers like Moyes and a couple of others, and their game plan is to stop that from happening all week. Yeah. How do we stop their threats? I hate that.
It's shit, isn't it?
It is shit, yeah.
Being West Ham in England, we've got to put up with bloody Southgate doing it as well.
No respite at all. No respite.
Yeah. It's fucking frustrating.
God, it makes you think, doesn't it? What the fucking point of it all? Jesus Christ!
Well, it just sucks the enjoyment out of it, doesn't it? And you'll get excited when we win because we all want to see us win. But fuck me, watching some of the games is just it's torturous. That Burnley game is the prime example. How we won. But you can't enjoy that game of football.
The performance in the Burnley game was no better than the performance against Fulham, but it's just Fulham are a better team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know,
at 85 minutes, you couldn't see that getting turned around, could you?
No, not at all.
Right.
And the thing is, I've always said this, and John will always fucking have a row with me over it and take the piss. But
he's hard working, I think.
Stupid o'clock of fucking to watch that, and it's on TV and it's fucking terrible. And you're watching it through fucking Nick's fucking sty eyes. You know what I mean? It's hard.
I can actually see my eyelid. It's fucking horrible. It's swollen up. It's sort of grim.
Sometimes I think I'd rather have a sty than watch West Ham, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like to stab myself in the eye so I don't have to.
You must sort of question yourself a little bit when you wake up at 3 a.m. to sit there and watch that. And the thing is, I've fallen asleep. I can't think what game it was now, but I've fallen asleep midway through the first half of one of our games this year, and that was middle of the day. No. To be fair, it's always better when you go to a game. It's always better because it's all about the day, isn't it? You have a drink, you make mates. It's always better. But if you're one of those fans that just goes to Stratford for the game, fuck that. I wouldn't bother. If you're just going for the football, I wouldn't bother.
Like, Dave, did you still have a good time on Sunday?
Absolutely, mate. I met up with one of my good mates and we got on the piss before the game, during the game. And as soon as we went 3-0 down, we just went out the back and started buying their very expensive beers in plastic cups. But, we still had a good time. Bought that out a packet of sweets, so he was happy. He carried on watching us drinking. He had about 5 pints of lemonade himself, so he was all sugared up.
I was thinking about the fans at the game because some of my best days supporting West Ham have been where we've been absolutely spanked.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is that back then, it was always, you were always half expecting it. And our primary objection every season was to not get relegated or get promoted. It was one or the other. And we weren't very good. So you kind of laughed it off a bit. Whereas now, you look at our squad and the players that we've got, we shouldn't be getting fucking spanked. And, you know, it does happen every now and again, but we shouldn't be losing 5-0 at Fulham. There's no excuse for it. So you can't.
And we shouldn't be. And we shouldn't be playing the way that we're playing, because look, this low block, I'm going to say it again, this defensive style, this is the style of the weaker team. So if Sheffield United play a low block, you accept it. If we were Sheffield United, like as you just said, and we were shit and we had bad players, we wouldn't be calling for a more progressive style. But when you've got like players like what we've got at the minute, you know, you've got players like that, we can all see it. They can all play. We've seen it in the last 10 minutes of games. It's always when we go behind and he throws his version of the kitchen sink at the game, which is just taking the shackles off the players. We've got the ability to play and go out and beat these teams, and that is what is really pissing people off. Because although it's really weird, he's helped us build this team and bring these players in, but we're also watching them fail to a degree
and disappear.
Yeah.
I think the one thing you did tolerate though was the fact that you go, I tolerate playing the Moyes way because we're never going to get beat 5-0. And I always felt there was that level of resilience that we had, that we could come back into games, and that we weren't going to concede 4 or 5 ever, and that we always had a route in. You know, we might be playing like shit and be 2-1 down, but there's every chance we might snatch something out of this because we've got that resilience to us. At the moment, that's not even there. So you're like, well, why am I tolerating this shit? Because we're not even resilient and we're not even, sure at the back.
But the reason for it, mate, it goes back to that midfield, and this is a thing that we do it. The defenders get smashed every week. We have a go at Aguirre, we have a go at all the players that make these stupid mistakes, but they've got no shield in front of them. I mean, look at the first goal for Fulham the other day. How much time did what's his name, Polina, have on the ball to pick that cross? He had no pressure on him whatsoever. It was
shots quick enough, mate. Ever?
No,
disgusting. And like even the other day against fucking Tottenham, Bowen's the one jumping in front of that fucking shot on the edge of the box.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
that's right. Yeah,
he's meant to be our outlet, and he's the one doing it. But whoever was the closest was nowhere near it. Like
some of the mistakes that are unforgivable, like Mavropanos at Palace. I mean. Well, no professional footballer should be doing that.
That was bad. That was bad.
It was appalling. And it wasn't his first one. He had his own goal at bloody Brentford, and he probably should have done more to try and head away their winner as well.
But again, at some point, it's no coincidence. You know, you've got Aguirre who's been in the team for ages. He's making mistakes. Cresswell makes mistakes. Soufal makes mistakes. Alvarez does. Zuma does as well. They all do it. So that's what I was saying earlier on. At some point, you've got to think, is something more. There's something more going on. I know that mistake you're talking about is unforgivable. The Mavropanos one. I mean, that was just suicide, wasn't it? That pass. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Literally didn't. It was like watching Matty play fucking snooker the other day. He had no backspin on it.
Hang on a minute. That's right. For the record, it was 2-2. 4 frames, 2 each. Yeah.
Yeah, I went all Spursy.
So, fuck you. He was 2-0 up and ended up drawing 2-2.
I should never watch that Ronnie O'Sullivan documentary. I felt like I was in for a little while.
There's a question here from Haydos. He said, hypothetically, say they pull the trigger on Moyes, who do you think is a realistic permanent replacement? I know we've had this conversation a couple of times. We keep talking
about Alonso, don't we? But I don't think right now you could convince him to come through the door. I think the way Leverkusen are going.
I think
we could. I think we could. And do you know why? We looked at this yesterday, yeah? So you look at the amount of players that are coming towards the end of their contract, and the players that are looking at being shipped out in January and the summer. We're going to be left with about 12 players or 13 players. No, but with a shit load of money. So whoever comes in, you've got Tim Steiten. This is basically, you've got an opportunity for this to be your baby. And it could all be being queued up for that. And I'm not being funny. There is a relationship there with with Alonso. I have been told, I don't know who it is, I honestly don't, but I was told about a month ago from a guy that's connected with a board that, and he doesn't know either. He said it's kind of, you know, NDA stuff. He said nobody knows. They said there is a guy agreed for the summer, but you're not going to know who that is until it happens because he's with another club at the moment. So there's stories about Carrick, but Alonso, the other one that's come out, and this would really excite me. It'd probably give you lot a bit of heartburn, and that's Arne Slot of Feyenoord, because he makes Postecoglou look defensive. his style of football. This would be going from David Moyes to him would be unbelievable. The thing
is with us and Ange, the reason we don't like him is because we actually wanted him. I think we said as mates like before we started the channel, like he's the guy. That's the one we need to get in. Like he was doing wonders at Celtic. We've seen him here at Brisbane as well. He was coach here, did fantastic, plays good football, and then he goes there. And then all you hear on every single outlet in Australia.
Oh, I can imagine. And
anybody that is related to football, because they haven't got.
I bet they're all Spurs fans now, aren't they?
Oh yeah, but then they say to you as a West Ham fan, they go, "Oh, isn't Ange doing really well with Tottenham?" I go, "I couldn't give a flying fuck." I've even said it to high-end clients. You know what I mean? I don't care. My hatred for Tottenham runs that deep.
I'm the same.
Surely you want to see Ange do well. Oh, I get that all the time. It's like, no, I want to see Spurs die a slow, painful, horrible death.
Yeah.
This is like with West Ham fans, you know, and I can understand being grateful and having a soft spot for Declan Rice. But if you look on Twitter, there's people the other day when the Luton game was coming on, there was West Ham fans getting excited on Twitter. I can't wait, going to watch Declan Rice, and they're celebrating Declan Rice scoring the winner as if it was. I see. I can't fucking work that out.
No, I can't do that.
You know, I don't wish him any harm now. I don't. That's gone. I don't wish Declan Rice any harm now. That ship has sailed. But I don't want him to succeed, because if he succeeds, if I wish him success, that means I'm wishing Arsenal success.
Yeah. You can't do it, can you?
No.
We've said it on our shows, and me and Matty have a real strong point on this. We think he's an arrogant, all for himself.
100% he is. Yeah.
Like,
I think a lot of them are though.
But the fact that he talks so much, and he's like, he could say a shovel is a fucking spoon, and he'd make you believe it.
I'll never get over the final when they're singing 10 more years Declan Rice. He stood in front of them doing that.
Yeah.
He's filming them.
What the fuck did I say, lads?
Yeah, he's filming them like that, smiling, and you're like, mate, seriously? Me. Yeah, that was wrong.
You were going anyway. Fucking get off that. Managers, I would take Lonzo all day long.
Yeah, I think we would. I don't know. I'm sceptical as to whether he'd come. But I mean, you made some good points there, Nick. If you know, you look at it that way, if there is a chance to rebuild, and that's all sort of disclosed in advance. But I suppose having Tim there doing the talking, it fills me with a bit more confidence. You know, it was very, very well done during the summer. So I wouldn't be, you know, impossible to believe that something like that was happening. And even though we've got to suffer this for the rest of the season, if it did turn out to be the case, you say, well, all right, you know, you can kind of live with that. But we don't know that now, and that's the most fucking frustrating thing.
Like I said on our pub show the other day, like for me, I hope whoever is in has signed already, because
especially if it is Alonso.
Yeah, because Europa League might be gone. Kudus, Paquetá, we could lose all our goodness. You know what I mean? Everything that's good about West Ham in the last 3 years, which to be fair to Moyes, he has built that. It's just he's letting go of it now.
I just think he's a firefighter. I think he's a type of manager you bring in, and he did overachieve in the first few years, but you bring a manager like him in now to set the foundation, stabilise your team, and then once that's done, move on. Because if you do want to move on as a team, so we've held on for too long. But the other thing with Xabi Alonso, he's only been a top flight manager. You know, he was Real Sociedad B. That's where Tim Schneiden found him, gave him a chance at Leverkusen. He's been there. You know, this is I think it's his first full season. Now, as good as what he is, I think if he's a bright guy, which I'm sure he is, you've only got to look at the trend of managers that have gone too soon before him in terms of taking those big jobs. So we know he's linked with Real Madrid, and we know he's linked with all of these others. I think he'd be mental. I think coming to West Ham, which is a similar size project to Leverkusen, but in a far superior league, going from Leverkusen to West Ham, doing the same again, you know, with chairman that will stick with him because they don't sack anyone apart from Pellegrini. With Tim Starton that he's worked with before, I think it would be a good move for him and a safe move, a safe bet.
And if he uses us as a stepping stone,
we would be a stepping stone. We would be a stepping stone. But that's fine.
That's only a good thing, because if he moves on to Real Madrid from that means.
Mate, imagine getting a manager poached because they were so good.
Yeah.
Well, we did have one of our players fucking poached by Real Madrid, Mr. Jolien Faubert. Like,
yeah. But if your manager's being poached, that means that he's been brilliant for you, and that means you've had a good couple of seasons. Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Being a stepping stone in that respect.
No.
Well, I reckon there's a good chance he could be lined up for the end of the season. I think with the current project he's got going, though, there's a good chance that Leverkusen could take that title from Bayern Munich.
Mate, 20 games. 20 games, 16 wins, four draws, no defeats.
Yeah,
so that's impressive, isn't it? Impressive.
I think you'd at least want to see that season out and see if you can do something spectacular there, because usurping Bayern Munich is no bloody mean feat over there, and and it's not a team that's you'd expect to be putting that kind of pressure on. They might go all Spursy at the end, but you probably, if you're sitting in that seat, you probably go, yeah, look, I'll take this West Ham project on at the end of the season, but I want to see this out.
I think there's a lot to be said about character, and I've got to be honest, I don't know whether I would want a manager that would dump a club midway through a season. I think when you're in a project and you're doing something like that, I think he will see that. He will see it through, and that's probably why we've still got Moyes here. Because if they were to get rid of him now, it's either a caretaker manager or it's going to be a temporary appointment.
Why would they bother with a caretaker? Why would they bother with a caretaker, given that we're already on 24 points? We're probably not going to get. We'd have to play a really bad fucking second half of the season to go down. Why would you even bother upsetting that apple cart? So I think we're probably going to be stuck with Moyes for the rest of the season for that reason alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think I'd be disappointed though if Heitinger was put in charge full time at the end of the season. I think that's a bit underwhelming for me. Like, keep him going as the coach. Like, he might be a grass trainer. Do you know what I mean? He might be better on the grass coaching the players rather than being a manager. So I'd rather him stay in that setup.
I've heard he's a grass. That's why that's why he's been planted there. I think he's a bit of a because I think you'll notice when he first came in, you could see there was a relationship on the sidelines with Moyes and Heitinger. You don't see that now. It's back with McKinley. Heitinger's nowhere to be seen now. So I think he's caused a few. They needed someone. They needed a voice from that changing room to see what was going on. Someone from the because I'm sure there was probably a disconnect between the board and what was going on. I mean, do you think he ever gets held to account, gents? Do you reckon after a game like the Fulham game, not as if that defeat weren't bad enough, it was almost something that when he comes out and says all of the players were fatigued and they were ill, he's almost acknowledged the reason why that defeat happened. Do you think he would be quizzed after that game to say, well, hang on a minute, Dave, if you knew these players were on their arses, what were you doing? We've got the under-21s. Man City went out and put 3 under-21s out in the Champions League yesterday. 2 of them scored.
Yeah. I don't think he's accountable to anyone for whatever reason. No. I don't think he
should be, though.
Any grief, any pressure. Which is probably why he's developed the arrogance to do what he does, and just do whatever the fuck he wants and play the players that he wants, move them around because no one's asking him questions. A 5-0 defeat like that, he should be getting marched into the office and forced to explain himself. But I don't think that happens. No.
To Sullivan, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
he should explain him. He should be explaining himself. Wouldn't you say, King?
Yeah. Well, I said it on your show the other day when I rang in. Like, I think he's that arrogant that he it's all about his CV now. So it doesn't matter how he plays football. He knows he's still got the rest of this season. As long as he doesn't get relegated, he knows he's safe. So he's going to play to the stats now. So he doesn't care that we've just lost 5-0. He'll care about that we've just beat Tottenham 2-1. Like he sees his numbers more than he does see us as fans. So he doesn't give a fuck if we're enjoying it now. He's playing Football Manager now. Does that make sense?
Well, he's looking at 24 points after 16 games and stood there on his pedestal saying it's nearly a fucking record points total after 16 games. What more do you want? Which is, you know, the opposite way to look at it. If we win this group, you know, he's got another box ticked on his CV. You know, we've won a group in Europe again. We're in the quarterfinal of the cup. You know, all these things that make him look great. But we're stuck with the reality of what actually
and they do make him look great to the layman. So if you tune into TalkSport and you listen to all of those wallies on there, because these guys, if you don't watch West Ham week to week, which if you're not West Ham, you won't. So to the football media and everyone else, they'll just look at it from a high level and go, "What are you moaning about?"
Yeah.
You know.
But we'll get through a couple more comments. There's quite a few there. Crafty Dave said, "King, don't be tight. Put the fan on."
It's the noise. It's the fucking noise.
You can get. I'll have to talk to you. I've got the same thing. So in summer, it's hot up here. I've got no insulation up in the loft, so it's not as hot as where you are. But I can't, like I say, I can't stand the heat. So you can get a noise gate. So you can cut the frequency off of the fan. You can cut the frequency.
It's funny how Nick looks like he fucking lives in 36-degree heat, and I look like I live in fucking Alaska.
You look very.
That's me.
Just Dave, what time are housekeeping coming to make your bed?
Yeah, mate, I'm going to have to ship out in a minute, but
you're checking out.
I've got 3 minutes till I'm supposed to check out.
Where's your next stop?
I'm heading up to London, mate. I'm going to the game tonight, so yeah. So
nice.
Look, I might just sign off and leave you a quick prediction for tonight because I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win.
What fans are you sitting with, mate? Because we know you love a bit of Freiburg.
Yeah. Good on you, mate. Yeah, good on you. I'm down in the lower tier at West Ham, so I'll be cheering loud. But I reckon a 3-1 win tonight. I think their goalkeeper's a little bit shit. He showed that in the first leg, and I think we can get some bloody shots on target. We'll get a few past him. But yeah, let's hope that's how it goes. What are you boys thinking?
I went 2-0. I'm being positive. I'm hoping that he does the right thing and goes out and goes at them. If he does, we'll beat them. I think we will.
Yeah,
I think we will, because I think they're going to come at us. I think they'll be looking at the previous games and they'll be thinking, "Oh, look, they're there for the taking." They could come out and be a bit complacent. We could smack them. We could.
I think we've got to have a response as well, don't we? For losing 5-0, I think we've got.
You'd hope so. You'd hope there's going to be a response.
There's got to be something.
Yeah.
I reckon it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah.
That'll do. That'll do.
I reckon down for a draw.
Yeah, but if he goes for a draw, we won't get it, mate. If he goes for a draw, we'll lose. I reckon we will. If he sets up like that, we'll lose.
I can see him getting a goal, to be honest. I do think we'll win. I think it'll be tight.
Yeah.
Probably 2-1. I'd be happy with that. We just need to get it done because we really don't want that fucking playoff.
No.
Right, cool. Dave, you better go.
All right, lads, I'll sign off. Come on, you irons.
Cheers, Dave. Good talking to you.
Cheers, boys.
Enjoy the game if you can.
Cheers.
Yeah, I'll speak to you soon.
And I've got about another 10 minutes, gents, just so you know.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Well, I've just seen that Mickey's in the chat. Mickey, if you're about, mate, let us know and we'll chuck you in.
He's posting letters in the wrong letterboxes somewhere. That's what he's doing.
No.
Right, just whack through a couple more of these. Mr. Mace sounds like the gaff's going to be half empty tonight. Unheard of a couple of years ago. People ain't paying to watch this shit anymore. Yeah, look, I don't know what the ticket situation is.
45,000 they've sold.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of games. I do have some sympathy with people. It is shit. You know, we were a few weeks before Christmas. It's fucking Thursday night.
It's expensive as well.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
How much is a ticket over there now, Nick?
It's fine. I think for a European game, it's about 60 quid. But if you're taking your kids, which is kind of what people do with the European games, you know, you're looking at a couple of £100 for tickets plus all the other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
It's an expensive day out. And if you're going over there to watch football like that, why would you do it? Because the games are so frequent now. They're every 3 games, every 3 days. I mean,
I'd love for you to come over here one day, and we'll take you to a fucking A-League Brisbane Roar game, mate. You'll see what fucking shit football is.
I'll give that a go.
You can take him. I'll stay in the pub.
Yeah, no. I've taken my boots along once. See if I get a fucking game.
I watch a lot of non-league football. We do around here. I watch my local team. I watch Enfield. I watch Cheshunt. I used to go and watch Dagenham and Redbridge a lot more, but I don't. But yeah, I quite like lower league football.
Oh, that'd be better than the A-League over here.
It would
mate.
be. I'd happily watch non-league football. The shit over it.
Is it bad over there? Is it bad?
Oh, it's terrible.
Horrendous.
It's terrible. You know what? It would be better if they actually just let the teams go out and have a go at each other, like non-league. But they try and get technical and tactical, and the players are just they're terrible.
They're not up to it. They're not up to it. So what you need is a bit of non-league hoofball battles, fights on the pitch. That's what you need.
That's exactly what you got over here, mate.
No,
and they play it in 55,000 seat stadium with crowds of 6,000 in, which just kills the fucking atmosphere.
It might be, it won't be as bad as at fucking London Stadium tonight. That's for sure.
No, I think that stadium will be rocking. Like I said, you get a different crowd in there on European nights because a lot of the season ticket holders, they don't renew. They don't buy the packages. They don't go on Thursday nights. Not everyone can. So you do get a different type of crowd, but that can either be good or bad. Like I said, I went to the Frankfurt game a couple of years ago in the Europa. There was around me. John had the same thing where he was sitting. There was fights between West Ham fans in the stands. It was horrible.
That's terrible, that man.
I know.
That's terrible. Get through these. Come in. We'll give him another 5 minutes, and we'll do one.
Yeah, all right. So 50p has asked about company. Look, not for me. I thought Burnley did really well last season. I think it'd be too big a step for him at this stage. You know, Burnley haven't been great, and I actually thought of the 3 teams that came up, I thought they might have been the one that actually, you know, got themselves mid-table and held the position. So, I'm not keen on company. What do you think?
I would. I would give him. He wouldn't be my first choice, but I certainly wouldn't be upset if he came in. I think when we played Burnley, I said the same thing. Imagine if the managers switched dugouts. You know, they had the opposite group of players. You know, when you looked at the football that company was producing with that team, because they're not a team of superstars. They're not. You know, they're an average team full of young players, and he's got them playing football the right way. They've just got no cutting edge, but they have started picking up a few results though.
Yeah,
they have.
I think with company, it's he can actually demand respect as well because of his playing career, and like he has done well with Burnley. He did bring him into the Premier League. He's won things himself. He's played in a good team. He played under Guardiola. Like that's no mean feat. Do you know what I mean? So as much as I think he can progress and be a better manager, I probably wouldn't take him yet. No.
Kieran said he will trust whoever Steinen picks and hope it works. Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Jimmy says it'll be hilarious if Alonso stops Kane winning anything. Could you imagine they don't win the league?
It'd be brilliant. Be brilliant. I do think that Bayern Munich will pull through and Leverkusen will drop off though. I do think that's what will happen.
I hope so.
We need him to start losing. Stop fucking winning. Every time I look at him, I know.
You can't maintain that form though. 16.
No,
surely not. But the best bit was when Kane first went there. First game, fucking loses the first trophy in the first game. That was the fucking bollocks.
Do you know Mourinho called this with Xabi Alonso? There was an interview floating about from about 4 years ago. He was talking about players that he's worked with that he thinks will go on to be top managers. He called out Xabi Alonso, and that was before he was managing. He said the guy is an absolute leader, so bright, so intelligent. He said he's made for it.
You could tell from the way he played football that he was intelligent.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, does it? Right, a couple more. Kieran says a 5-0 defeat results in a slapped arse by Brady, and Moyes is quite happy with that. Mickey, oi, lads.
Hello, Mickey.
And then there's a load of comments from Mickey. The gist of it is he's out posting letters, but he also wants to know why no one has got a big red dildo mic on it.
That's in the drawer.
Yeah.
I think it must have got lost in the post, Mick.
All right.
Oh, I think that's it. Well, that was our first show with Nick.
Yeah.
That's fucking brilliant. Obviously,
that was a good show. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. We like to have a bit of a light-hearted one, mate. I know you guys, you're pretty pro at it at the moment, so we're getting to grips with it, as you can tell from
pro at being anti-Moyes. Yeah, we are.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, mate, we're all the same. All it is, we're just fans talking to a camera, same as you are. There's no difference. It's the same thing. You just get it just gets easier the more you do it. That's all. Yeah,
that's it. But hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. I certainly have. It was a new take on how we're going to do things on Thursday. We'll have Mickey in, we'll have John in, Gary the same, and obviously we're missing Nathan tonight. So our resident Australian will come on board when he's around, but I think he's gone to watch like some dance or something tonight. I don't know what that
He's got his priorities all wrong, hasn't
he? Yeah, definitely, mate. But yeah, what time we got to get for this game tomorrow, Matty?
So the game tomorrow is 6 a.m.
They're moaning again, John. They're moaning.
Fuck off, John.
Yeah, 6 a.m. So it's not too bad. And then fuck knows what time Wolves is on Sunday. Sometime early Monday morning.
So that's a 2 p.m. kickoff. So that's going to be.
So it's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. This is my friend's just popped in here. He's a Scottish lad. He's over in Coogee. But Cammy, my mate, he's just put this up, and I'll tell you what. It would have been a great fucking final. He's a Rangers fan.
It should have been the final. Should have been
that would have been unbelievable if we had got that. That the fan day would have been fucking brilliant. Wouldn't take anything away from Prague because whoever went over there, I heard had the best time. But that would have been a fucking brilliant Europa League.
Both sets of fans wanted that final.
Oh yeah,
they did.
He actually drove over from Scotland because he went back from Australia, went to Scotland, drove a fucking camper van with his mates to the game as well for their final. So they had a fucking brilliant one. But yeah,
it was a good bit of camaraderie there as well because a lot of West Ham fans got ahead of themselves and they managed to. They was either in the ballot or they'd bought tickets for the final and they'd bought hotels and they was giving tickets and hotel rooms to Rangers fans as well. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, actually, Cammy, let us know if you'd take David Moyes off our hands, please, mate, and take him back up.
Please do.
That'd be a good fit, that.
Yeah.
It would be. Anywhere but here would be a good fit.
But yeah, thanks very much for joining us. Hopefully we get the win against Freiburg. Let's get this fucking group sewn up and let's get through because I do want to be in the next Europa League fucking last 16 because I will be there for them fucking legs. And I really want to fucking go. So Moyes, get the fucking job done. And hopefully we get a win. But yeah, one thing left to say. Come on, you Moyes.
Cheers,
Nicky.
Yes, thank you.
Cheers, mate.